Good morning. So the other word for sarsenstone, or the other meaning for sarsenstone, antiquarians think, is troublesome stone. Saracen is one of the meaning, as in oriental or from afar, like the Magi, strangers who have appeared in our midst. But the other meaning is troublesome stone, i.e. A stone that is just a menace to those who work the land. And as you can see from here at Piggledene, where I've returned this morning, you can't really do anything with this particular field in the way of cultivation, because it is simply littered with rocks. It's one of the reasons why I love this field, because it will have remained untouched for centuries and centuries and centuries, and never have, presumably, have been cultivated because of these rocks here. That means this is probably fairly similar to how it was prehistorically. I don't know whether there would have been more woodland around. I suspect there would have been, but this is how this field is going to be, because there isn't much more you can do with it unless you remove the sarsens. Now, quite a few of them were removed, of course, over the centuries for housing. I've just seen one actually up the Bath Road, propped up as a gatepost. So they were used in all kinds of ways, and some of them blasted out of the ground. But the vast majority remained, and it's still the fact that you couldn't grow a crop in this field. There's another huge one there, which I might just sit on. And so I'm thinking this morning about the obstinate obstacles that lie in our path, those troublesome stones. What is it for you? What are the things that you simply that stop the ground around you from being cultivated in the way that you want it? You just can't grow what you might wish to because of the rocks in your path. I was watching, like many thousands of others, the Beatles Get Back last night. I was so pleased to have the evening free to see the first episode of that. A huge Beatles fan, as you probably know, regular viewers. So it was just glorious and deeply moving as well for me, and for so many who love the band, to see all of that new footage and insight, particularly into the tenderness of their relationships and the obstacles to that. In fact, at one point, Paul and Ringo were planning out the long and winding road, Paul's plaintive ballad, and he's arranging the verses. He says, like obstacles, they're the things that get in the way of his returning home. That was fascinating, and so that's on my mind this morning. And of course, it finishes. Well, I bet not spoil it actually, but the first episode finishes with a particular obstacle in the way of that deep relationship that they shared. So what are yours? What are the rocks that can't be blasted out from before your path, because we've got to work around them and with them and own them, and acknowledge that this is how the field is, and either transform them into something artistic. Look at this. I don't know if that's natural, or whether it's been split, but do you see how that corner rock has just been squared off and excised from the rest of them? We either have, as I say, to do something with those obstacles which allows them to become an offering, somehow made artistic or made glorious in some way, or owned, or they are to similarly to they kind of call us to reflect upon our own, what we can't do. This is what I was trying to say the other day in Sandy Lane Church about the limits of our knowledge. the rocks in our field just throw us back on our own incapacity. We can't shift it, can't do anything. So then the question is, so what do you do, oh man or oh woman? What do you do with what you can't shift? And that is the test of our character. That is where the work is done. That is where I believe God works within us, if we are open to it, and where we review our own response to life, and how do we rage against it? Do we just push hopelessly against something that won't shift? Or do we become a different kind of person in the light of what we can't change? No clear answers there, but an acknowledgement. And look, I've come into the open field, and with the glowering sky, that makes an atmospheric sight this morning. I love the days before Advent Sunday this weekend, and tonight I'm at the cathedral for the service Darkness to Light. It's one of my favourite events of the year, and we weren't able to do it last year. And I might even be able to post from there over the weekend, but I'll certainly report back. There's an anticipation to these days as we come to the end of the church's year, end of the Christian year, and recognise that what we need is a kind of rebirth. God bless you as you go to ground.